know a call to order this special call session of the Board of Commissioners meeting. The reason we called this meeting was to hear from our department heads on the reports on the support of the storm and the aftermath, and to hear from Randy. He also has some things that he wants to say. I have two items which are very short after everybody's finished. And if any of the commissioners want to make any comments, please do. I will turn it over to Randy.
Okay. Madam Chairman, Board of Commissioners, you know, this tornado hit last Sunday, March 3rd, in the afternoon in the Pine Mountain area, Ellerslie area, and the Cocoa Lake area. That night, Harris County Public Works and Sheriff's Office crews cleared the affected roads so power companies can come in and their subcontractors to access the impacted areas to begin to restore power. Monday, March 4th, a team of folks went out to the affected areas to do damage assessments to see how bad and the magnitude of the damage that has occurred on the previous afternoon. The damage assessment teams were the EMA, Harris County EMA, Harris County Community Development Department, Harris County Tax Assessor's Office, Troup County EMA, Troup County Tax Assessor's Office. They all went around to do a damage assessment on that Monday morning while the power companies were still restoring power in the affected area. The magnitude of the damage was being assessed on Monday morning. Again, Public Works crew and Sheriff's Office crews continued the debris cleanup on Monday. The City of LaGrange assisted Pine Mountain with their city cleanup beginning that day. And Monday afternoon, the state declared Harris County, along with Talbot and Grady, as a state of emergency, thereby releasing state equipment and manpower to assist the county in cleanup efforts. That was just one day. Tuesday, March 5th, a meeting was convened at 8:30 in the morning with GEMA folks, EMA, Public Works, Community Development, Community Center, Board of Education. During this meeting, a lot of things were coordinated. Coming to the area was Georgia Department of Transportation, Georgia Department of Corrections, Troup County, Upson County, upon my personal request to those two county managers, City of West Point, City of LaGrange, Harris County Public Works, all coordinated through EMA and Public Works Director. So Tuesday, March the 5th, the cleanup efforts began in earnest with probably 50 dump trucks, a tremendous amount of manpower from other county and state agencies, all converging on the county to begin the cleanup Tuesday. During this meeting also, while all the forces were being marshaled, we determined the transfer station needs to stay open for extended hours to accept the storm debris. And we requested from EPD for the transfer station a burn permit. They declined because of the methane gas at the landfill. So we had to go find another location that was nearby to take all the storm debris. Well, Ellerslie Park came to mind. So we asked the EPD, Georgia EPD, for a burn permit for Ellerslie Park. We did receive that on Monday afternoon. Then we started routing the trucks on the northern side of the county, the Pine Mountain area, to the transfer station, and routed all the southern trucks in the county, the Ellerslie area, to Ellerslie Park. And then we encouraged everyone to burn on site to get a Georgia Forestry Commission burn permit. We opened up the community center for showers, and the Ellerslie Volunteer Fire Department was a go-to place for public water and tarps distribution. We got a lot of public water donated, and a lot of tarps donated. In the meantime, EMA was sending information to GEMA at the state level, requesting assistance through their GEMA portal, we call it. And that was just Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, the cleanup continued. Thursday, the cleanup continued, again with all these forces. On Thursday, the cleanup continued. And on Thursday also, EMA asked the state to an extension of the state declaration. Will you please extend it for one more week? Because it was going to end last Friday. So EMA asked the state for an extension so that state equipment can stay here one more week on this cleanup. And on Friday, that extension was given until this Friday, March the 15th. And last Friday, all other forces left. Upson County, Troup County, City of LaGrange, City of West Point, all left last Friday, but they did one great job. Saturday and Sunday, the volunteers came in and dumped at Ellswood Park and the transfer station, because we kept that open also during Saturday and Sunday to accept debris. And then all this week, Monday through today, again, GDOT has continued to help us clean up with their equipment. So today is Wednesday. It's been 1 week since we began the cleanup in earnest. With the assistance of, I cannot say enough good about GDOT, DOC, City of West Point, City of LaGrange, Upson County, Troup County, the Sheriff's Office, the volunteer firefighters. Can't say enough about those guys helping in this effort. So here it is Wednesday. It's been a week. I went to Pine Mountain through Pine Mountain today. It's virtually clean. I mean, virtually clean. Ellis is getting cleaned. As of about an hour ago, we had at Ellswood Park about a little over 1,400 dump truck loads of material. 1,400. Over 14, it might be 1,500 by now. So about 1,500 dump truck loads of material taken to Ellerslie in a week. I mean, nobody can argue with those results, in my book. The amount of cleanup, the amount of debris, the amount of helping citizens. Again, we're not like Alabama. We did not have loss of life. We had about 230 homes impacted in some form or fashion. No loss of life. A lot of property damage. So I think everybody pulled together and did a yeoman's job in the last 7 days. But then, where do we go from here? Again, and I can I'll maybe hear from Mike and other folks.
Right. Lonnie, did we get your thoughts on what's transpired the last week?
It's been a learning experience for a lot of us, especially well, me too, because I've been through several declarations where we've had access to state resources if we needed it. Well, you know, in the past we've had a dozen trees here, a dozen trees there, we haven't needed outside assistance. But once under the state declaration, we have access to DOT, DOC, other resources, forestry, that we normally don't have, that they are not allowed to go on county roads, whereas under the declaration they are. And that is standard operating procedures for them. Anytime somebody's under a declaration, the state frees up those assets and they help the communities. So in South Georgia last September, when Michael came through, they were down there helping those counties on private roads and county roads, but off state highways, and helping them clean. And they did that for months. Whereas we weren't going to have 2 weeks, they were down there for a month because that declaration lasted so long. You know, Mr. Dowd said, I cannot speak highly enough of the volunteer fire departments, the volunteers period. Chief White stepped up and took over the resource center there in Ellerslie, taking donations, making sure it got handed out. He just did a great job there, his staff. Of course, the sheriff's office stepped up. Everybody worked together because we're family. You know, this is home, and we take care of each other. And the state has come in, they've looked over everything, they've looked over all the paperwork. Everything's being done that the state can do. The feds are not going. FEMA came in to make a courtesy visit because of the formula that they use, they're not coming to help us. We have to have over $14.3 million in uninsured damage before they'll come in and help. And they use that nationwide. It's per capita for every state. Of course, when you add deaths into like Alabama, it kind of increases that, and they can get federal funding. Between this Harris talk and Grady, we're not going to get that number.
I think that's an important point, because many people think that FEMA, right,
Yeah, there's
right.
money out there. And even when you do reach the goal, it's the goal, the number, the magic number, it's still not a guarantee that you're coming. So
Is that a statewide number, like all
It's-
three counties had to equal that, or
all
each
three
county?
counties. So it's $3 and I think 89 cents per capita. So multiply it out by the population of the state, and that's what we have to have, is 14.3 million. And that's a hearing in uninsured.
I was going to say that's on uninsured.
Uninsured
Yes.
damage. As far as the state goes, we're where we need to be. They have come in and seen what we've done, and they are impressed that we have been, the county so resilient in getting things done and accomplished. Any other questions? We've done the assessments on the homes. Most of them are what we call windshield survey. Drive by and look. We see some out of place, we get out and walk around. Brian and his staff helped out because of their expertise. And so we lay eyes on all the damage that we know of. After talking to Georgia Power, they said everybody's back on except for a few that have damage to their homes, and they can't put power back to them yet until they get that fixed. It was a little start fire or something like that.
Is there anything in your area we should have done differently, or maybe could do a little better next time?
Maybe communication. When I finally, I don't know if y'all heard, I was actually locked on my street for over 5 hours because of power lines. I couldn't get to the office. Jamie was able to get to the office and run things there, and I was coordinating from the house. Skip had already set up a lot of stuff into the fire department. Stuff I would ask him to do or run, because I can't be everywhere. I can't run a resource center. I can't do damage assessments throughout the county, because you have Pine Mountain affected, it's all affected as well, and I can't do both. So it's a learning curve. Here, maybe a little more communication.
Does anybody want to ask you any questions?
With all the state help, how long will that be?
Till Friday's afternoon.
And you did not expect that to be extended?
No, that will not.
Zero possibility?
Yeah, it was a chore getting it extended this time.
Just want to make sure.
They have been a blessing to the county.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Mike. Good afternoon.
First, I'd like everybody else says, thank everybody, Upson County, West Point, LaGrange, Troop. I'd like to thank Alexander Equipment, Graydon, for letting us use their excavator. It would have been really bad if we hadn't had that out there, to be able to stack that material up so high. Of course, I started calling my guys in early on Sunday. I think while the storm was even traveling through, I was stuck on the interstate at the time. It just passed through I-185. We got everybody here, and as soon as everything passed, we did the roads and started cleaning up just as everybody else did. I do have some concerns. I saw a lot out there over this entire thing, which is far from over, of some of the things that we need that's not going to be used all the time, but we definitely need them. We have no storm debris equipment at all. Everybody else was out there eating soup with a spoon and we're eating with a fork. That's the way, I mean, we're literally handicapped in that area. And I know that's something that needs to be dealt with through the budget, and hopefully this will be an eye-opener so that maybe we can get some grapples and some different things. And it's definitely not the board's fault, because I've never asked for it. And I don't think it's been asked for in the past, but normally the storms are more of what we can handle. We're not dealing with all the yard debris. This is my first time with the decoration and everybody putting it out. That's a big difference. But when that does happen, we have everybody else's help, but we need to be able to do it too. It makes it so much easier to be able to grab that stuff and load it up, not fight it, take a chance of it slipping out of the bucket. Or that's one thing that I think we really need to address. Hopefully we'll have some time in between this happening again. Who knows? One real concern that we have all that material out there in Ellerslie Park. It's been talking about burning it. I've gotten with 2 different tuck grinding outfits, but the numbers it's impossible.
What are they telling you?
Ma'am?
What are they telling you? What's the estimate?
They're saying anywhere from 375, one was 345, one was 375. I think you got some numbers as well,
To grind
in the
it.
same ballpark,
Same ballpark.
To grind it?
To grind it.
per yard. And nobody knows how many
And I
yards we
don't
have.
think that included any kind of disposal. That was basically grinding it and
That's
leaving
right.
it at the
You've got
location.
another $3 to $4 a yard
To haul it off.
haul it off. I think we're stuck with it. We're gonna have to deal with it, one way or another. I feel like in the future, we need to have some kind of ground piece of land somewhere that, because obviously the landfill is not gonna be able to handle it at this magnitude at one time. We filled up probably a year's worth of pit left in 2 days. I mean, we were hauling in there. That's before we ever started hauling at Ellerslie. I feel like if some way we could get a piece of ground somewhere that was hidden from the eye, and we could clear it and have it for this storage for future, times. I hate to say it, but one day it may be homes going in there.
That's true.
You never know. You look at what happens in Florida and over the river. That stuff's got to go somewhere. That's 2 things. I saw a lot go on out. A lot went on out there that I think shouldn't have. I don't really want to get involved in that. That's just people doing. They're in panic. They're trying to get their stuff out. I think, just to make it short, there was a lot of clearing going on that was unharmed from the storm, which now we have to deal with. And I saw a lot of it, but I get a lot of it from every one of these municipalities, and we even had I think his truck said, emergency disaster truck that gets paid by FEMA that runs around all over the U.S. doing this. And he even spoke and said that we're really getting taken advantage of, because he does it every day, and he saw what was happening. And that sort of thing's gonna happen. There's a lot of debris that's out on the rights of way in many areas that man-made, not natural vegetation, trees, whatnot. And I'd like to know where we are with that. Are we gonna try to dispose of that, or how's that gonna happen?
Are you talking like building materials and old trampolines and swings and
Yes,
things?
ma'am.
Those are the kinds of
Yes, ma'am.
things I've seen. But I haven't seen a lot of it. I've seen a good dump truck load or something. But,
Yeah.
but Ellerslie Place is having an HOA meeting Sunday,
Mhm.
and I haven't been invited, but I intend to go,
Mhm.
and communicate, because that's where I've seen it in Ellerslie Place, that we're not going to pick up that building materials, those kinds of things, unless the commission as a whole tells me we are, because that's what we put out to begin with. We would pick up the debris, but not the building materials.
And
Because once they start tearing the roofs off those houses,
that's right.
we wouldn't be able to handle all those shingles and,
And the reason I'm asking is, I didn't mean to interrupt, but the reason I'm asking is because I'm asked that on a daily basis.
Right.
And I just want to get some clarity of what I need to be answered.
And that's,
And in the past, we haven't.
yeah, and that's the word that I put out. You know, just trying to make sure we're all on the same page, that they know we're not gonna pick up that basketball goal that they tore down. It's laying there in 5 places with that TV that I've seen over here. That, you know, and that's the word that I've been putting.
today I saw, roof decking, a mattress, some household things that were damaged in the store. Trampolines and outdoor swings, those kinds of things, but some of it was gone this afternoon. So I guess the
That's
homeowners
good.
got it, because after they came through and picked up the limbs, it was still there. And so then I'm assuming the homeowner then took care of it. But I'll communicate that Sunday.
Yes, ma'am. So as it stands, we're not going to mess with that type of debris.
Sure, I agree with you.
I don't see how we can. I mean, you really don't have the manpower to do that and then continue to do what you're doing for the rest of the county and all that kind of stuff. I just don't see how we can do it. And as you said, we haven't done it in the past. I just don't see how we can do that. As much as we might all like to,
Yeah,
we
we
want
do.
to, I just don't think we have the manpower right now to do it. And, you know, we're already taxing your, department. You know, we're stretching you thin as it is. We sure don't need to stretch it so thin that you break. You know?
But I really haven't seen a lot of that. I haven't seen as much as I thought I might see.
Well, it's definitely not just Ellerslie Place.
Yeah.
There's some in there sporadically around, but it's definitely not just there, it's other areas too. One question that I have is, how are we gonna, and it hadn't even been brought up yet, but is the 18th the end of people putting debris out on the roadway?
That's what I'm putting out.
That's segment.
That's your set.
Or that's our segment.
Okay. All right, so Randy's you're gonna address that.
Whatever, everyone's ready.
Whenever.
Okay, I just wanted to know how we could attack and enforce it without being ugly or whatever. I think, without getting into details of little things, which I don't think at this point matters, without having the state coming in and the declaration and all of that, how do we get for the future back to our normal tornadoes that go through West Bon Acre? I hate to say it like that, but that's where it comes through a lot. That we go and clean up. How do we get the difference between this incident and our regular, so future we don't get bombarded without a declaration and we're stuck? Because literally without all of this help,
It
we
couldn't
would
have
be
been
nowhere.
done. It couldn't have been done.
We would be, their whole yards would be full.
I think
It would
that's,
be to the door.
Right.
I think that's what we say. So there is a state of emergency. That's when we go into the mode that we went into this time.
Okay, so that'll be handled on each individual.
Because
I
we
don't know how you
do,
can.
Every emergency is different.
That's right.
It can be large, it can be small, it can be rural, it can be suburban,
Yeah.
it
Well,
can be
you know,
clear.
not to interrupt you, Randy, but the tornado that hit in 2011, it hit the school, it hit the it hit county buildings.
Yeah.
Everybody got to go home.
Right.
You know, now school, we were out of school for a couple of weeks in, PLC, but nobody lived there. And we were able to come in and put everything in the parking lot, and then it all got carried out. You know, that was a little different. This storm had hit houses. You know, that's why I told somebody, I said, the last tornado hit us pretty hard, except it didn't hit anybody's houses. This one hit this, so we're gonna have to treat each emergency as they, unique and as they come.
Right.
I would say though, would you say like Monty, you think maybe communication is probably somewhere we need to look at? I know, you know, everybody does hindsight.
That's right.
And I know this has been an eye-opener for all of us, but I would think communication, somewhere along the line, it's top of the key of things we've got to figure out how to really better coordinate, I guess is what I would
And
say.
it always is.
Yeah, it's
Communication's
always.
always the key, but it's difficult to communicate when phone lines are down,
Right.
internet's down, you know,
But,
no electricity.
but I think that one thing, and Randy may address this when we had a meeting on Monday and came up with a few things, and I think that's probably what Randy's gonna address. But I think that before it happens, everyone needs we need to communicate how we're gonna do it if we don't have a state of emergency declaration. Because we won't get any outside help.
That's correct.
And your department can't do it. It's an impossibility.
You know, a lot of times on the smaller, storms and tornadoes, sometimes we're out there a couple of months after the fact, but the roads are open, and it just takes time, and we go through and get it up. This would take years without the help that we've had.
And I think that we need to communicate, this was definitely something we've never seen before and had to deal with.
Well, and I think the way the county was hit, where you had Ellerslie, and you had Pine Mountain. I went to school Monday, and we actually had teachers that did not realize parts of the county had been hit by a tornado. They didn't understand what was going on. And, you know, then I showed the picture of the tree falling on the car at my house, and you showed pictures of everything else. And they didn't know. I'm like, do y'all not watch the news? You know, but I mean, but because we were hit like in such little pockets, you know, we actually had population that didn't realize it until a day or two later that it was actually worse than what they thought.
Well, I'll tell you one better, I have a neighbor across the street from me that has no computer and no TV. So, there are those people that are still out there, you know, I have no idea. But I think that's important that we say, whatever communication we put out, say, this was a very unusual situation. One that was overwhelming. Had we not had outside help, we could not have done what was done. And that they need to know that if we don't have a declaration, because I'll tell you, I've had, over the weekend, I had 3 requests to come clean private property, which is another thing that people don't understand.
We've had numerous questions come through the office that we really don't know how to answer. One we talked about, it may be something Randy's going to talk about later, but the private property roads.
Yes.
And that's something that y'all have to answer.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's pretty much what I have. It's been a very learning experience. I've never dealt with anything like this.
What can we do to help? Now, I will tell you that Randy and I talked the other day about possibly trying to purchase a grappler through SPLOST funding, because we do have some equipment that we were gonna try to purchase. But if we had at least one,
Yes, ma'am.
that would be helpful.
Certainly.
So I don't know what y'all think about that, but I think if we could, to definitely do that, try to look at that.
Speaking of that, I think we need more equipment, no, hands down. But we can buy it outright with SPLOST money, or we could go at least purchase it, spread that money over years. Yeah, we got some options. But, okay, Mike has about, besides his administrative staff of him, Tammy, and Norman, there's 12 people in his department, 12. Now, 4 of those are full-time right-of-way mowers that mow right-of-way 10 months of the year. On any given day in Harris County, he has 8 employees, 8. To cover a county, 450 square miles, 400 miles of road. If somebody doesn't see a problem with that, I must be Santa Claus. Okay? 8 people cannot run a public works department the magnitude of Harris County. Can't do it. But we've been doing it for how many years?
I know you've done it for 8.
8 years. Okay. Tell me wrong. I think Mike needs manpower. I think he needs more equipment. And we gotta get up the dime to buy it.
Well, I've said over and over again, I don't know how they do what they do. I've said that a million times. I don't know.
It's
And-
slow.
Well, I have to say that any of the requests that I've ever made over this 8 years and 3 months that I've been a commissioner, you've been extremely responsive. Extremely responsive. Couldn't have asked for any better. And, but you're right, I mean, it just defies common sense thinking that we can expect 8 people to do it. So I guess I think that's something we really have to look at seriously.
And it is budget time.
Yes, it is budget time.
I think we'll see this again.
Anybody would like to ask Mike anything, any questions?
Are there people still bringing a lot of debris out to the road? After you pick it up, it's still, or is it starting to slow down a little bit?
It is slow. In fact, I give, I know I'm gonna say her name wrong, but Noelia, with the state under JD, I give her another list of maybe 12 roads that has been gone over a couple of times already, but that's all that's left. There's still some folks still bringing stuff out, and the general public was surprised. I mean, Saturday, we was down there working, pushing up, getting ready for Monday, and I was surprised at the forces that come from the public. I mean, trailers, trucks, dump trailers, kids, elderly folks, everybody was bringing stuff out. It was, and then Sunday as well. I went pushed up for a couple hours Sunday because they was getting out into the roadway. I wanted to keep it back, but yeah, I was very surprised. There's a lot of people bringing stuff. But yes, I do think it is slowing down, and I think that there's still a lot there that we're going to be responsible for. Now, I do have the Department of Corrections with their mobile unit doing a wonderful job, and if everything works out up on their end, they're going to come back next week and help us. So that'll be a great help. But we still have a long ways to go. There's a lot on the homes at the end of East Bond Acre and Cocoa Lake. I'm sure their backyards they're gonna try to get some of that out. That's a lot there, but they see it just like everybody else. And they're in a situation where those homes, I don't think you can get to the backyard and get it back to the front yard. So, and the fence is gone, so why not bring it out that way? But we
I've
have
talked
to
to several of them out there, and they wondered about that. And I said, it seems like that might be the best place to go, because if you got them right next to each other, it's
Absolutely.
easier to pick up and not have to deal with it.
That's-
But yeah, I mean, I know Tammy's been dealing with it. There was a family there that couldn't even use their driveway, so they get a temporary driveway to come in, so then you can get to their house off of East Bond Acre.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, it's my job to know where all of it is, but I talked to several people and they said that it like jumped the homes and went right into the backyards of, I think, Hackberry.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know anything was in there, but when it was brought to my attention and I went through, we have a state in there today
Yeah.
helping, and another crew, I think, is in there as well. There was a lot of damage on
Yeah,
the
there only had
roads.
about 9 homes in there that had any kind of damage or trees down, but it really came in and across East Bond Acre, they just wiped out, frankly.
It jumped and sat down right at the tail of the,
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to one of the residents in Pine Mountain, and he said he saw the tornado come in, it hit his two pecan trees, and then popped up over his house and didn't hit his house. Knocked the trees down, and I said, well, thank God you had the two pecan trees, made it jump up and go over.
that's right.
He had all the debris, but the house wasn't hit. They do weird things, the weather does weird things.
Yep. I've saw many houses that the house is perfect and the
Yes,
trees are
and
everywhere.
every tree is gone,
It's
blown
just-
away from the house. This is just amazing.
Does anybody know of a storm to this tornado, to this magnitude that's come through?
long as I've been here. I've
We
been
moved
here
here
21
to
years.
74, there was one, Susan, you may remember that one, it was an F2 that came through. And that
What
was,
part of the county?
it was Ellerton. It came through, right through Harris Road.
I remember, well, I can only say this, one came over shallow, but it never touched down, but you could see it going over the top of shallow back in 74. I was 9, 10, 11. And then I do remember it hitting the elderly, but I don't remember the extent of damage because I wasn't younger. But I do remember seeing, you know, my dad took pictures of the tornado actually going over shallow, but it never touched.
In 91 is when it went through our backyard and backfield, took care of about 100 trees, but nothing like this. I mean, the path was yards wide, not half a mile wide. Just the magnitude of this, the width of it.
Yes, in the future, the more Harris County grows, we'll have more and more debris to pick up. There'll be more and more homes in the past within rural areas.
Right.
People just left it in the woods, so it's only gonna get, there's gonna continue to be more and more in the past.
And we probably need to start looking at worst case scenario. Like I said, if this is what happens, what are we gonna do? And then hope that that doesn't happen, and then have steps down that we can handle the stuff that's not worst case scenario.
Well, I guess this is the most populated area in the county, that corner of the county.
I went through Talbot County yesterday, and, you know, it's there, you couldn't hardly get down the roads because there's just stuff everywhere. So I know they're as bad a situation as we are.
And there's a lot more poverty in
It
Kansas.
is.
They're not as resilient as our folks have been. I've been amazed at the resilience of the folks in Harris County. And, you know, they're cleaning their yards, they're cleaning their private property. They were panicked at first, but they, you know how you do. You go, okay, now here's the job that's got to be done. And this morning, Ellerslie Place was pretty much cleaned up. There were a few piles here and there. Of course, the state roads, 315 and 85, still had the debris on the sides of the road, but they've been working on that today. And 315 from Warm Springs Road to Cornerstone Church, they were working in there, picking up today. And Pike Drive, that little loop there, it comes out of Magnolia.
Dogwood and.
Yeah, the road was closed, so I know they were working there about
That's
noon
that,
today.
I don't mean to interrupt, that's actually the group I have coming back next week, if everything works out. Doing a wonderful job.
So,
Everybody's done a good job.
and what I'm telling people is you can put your debris out till the 18th. The state help will be gone, so now you're gonna have to have patience with us. It will get picked up in due time, but when that is, some point in the future. So if you get tired of looking at it, you pick it up yourself. But
It's gonna be
just be
a
patient.
process.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
hopefully with 2 more full days, a lot of that will be picked up. Now, there are some folks who said to me, we've been out working on other people who had worse problems than us. We haven't even touched our own yards yet. But I think they're beginning to work on their own homes.
Thank you, Mike.
It's been, thank you.
All right, is there anything you want to?
If y'all got any questions, I mean,
When's
mine
Mark
basically
gonna open,
bounces off. What's that?
When's Park gonna open, right?
Who knows?
Yeah,
What park?
that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were within a month from probably opening up that place. And
That's one of the sad things
It really
about
is.
this whole.
But I will have to say, I mean, the timing couldn't have been perfect to where we were able to use that because it did get destroyed as much as it did. Now, if it had stayed pretty nice,
Yeah.
we might not have wanted to put all that stuff in there, and we would have been in a lot of trouble. But it's going to take a lot of work between me and Mike and Monty. We're ready to burn when we can. It's going to take a weather day, coordinate with weather and Georgia Forestry, and I've already talked to Skip about getting a truck over there. So it's just going to take getting those. We know what we got to do. It's just a matter of doing it. But we did get the tree off yesterday. Mike got the tree off the house, and then he put me on top of the house to put the tarp on, and I'm not going to forgive him for ever doing that. But,
I didn't push it.
Brian, you're expendable, Mike is not.
yeah, I found that out yesterday. I did find that out yesterday. That I told my wife, I said, I think Brady's trying to get rid of it.
tell you,
Because it was-
I put the stuff over there, you got to do something.
I know. We got it. But, to piggyback off the damaged homes, it was about 230. I've been going through our neighborhood and out at Mount Airy, just passing out business cards, letting people know, here's what you need to do if you need a permit. And what we're doing as far as permit wise, if it's electrical, we're waiving the fee, period. We've always done that if it was storm damage. If it is a structural issue, we're doing a flat reno fee for $100. And that usually takes care of it, and the insurance is usually throw that in too. If it's re-roofing, no permit's required, unless it includes structural. So that kind of stuff is what's out there. But I've talked to even my neighbor across the street, his damage was so extent that he had to call in a structural engineer, and they're gonna actually have to tear his entire roof system off, from down to stud wall and then rebuild. So it twisted some houses pretty bad.
I've heard two that have to be taken care of.
Two that have to be completely
But
demolished.
there may be others that I don't know about, but I've heard.
Well, I haven't even heard about a complete demolish yet, not from a structural
House that
engineer.
doesn't have any roof on the wall.
That one on Mustang, it sustained quite a bit of damage, but from what we understand on that one, the structural integrity of the walls themselves are pretty intact. But I have not heard anything from a structural engineer on
Yeah,
that.
water's pouring in.
Yeah, the roof's gone, water's poured in, but if the studs are still good, we're okay. That was a unique situation. We went back and looked at that one. It had hurricane clips on it. It just, when that back porch fell, the wind pushed right underneath against the back wall and just peeled that roof straight off the front. And just dumped it in the front yard. But,
All the insulation is there.
it looked like snow. We're doing what we can, just trying to stay ahead of things. Like I said, we'll coordinate with them and get this burned down. So.
Jeff, what about from your perspective?
Well, we've had some damage, and most of the damage was from the cleanup crews, because people piled debris on the bigger boxes and they tore stuff up, but we've still got some that we can't get to the boxes, and we've always said we do not estimate, we read meters regardless. Well, we're having only the ones we can't get to, and we'll make a note of them, so if something comes of it, we'll have to estimate some. The Ellerslie tank's got some damage. It's not bad, we don't know how much, because there's still a tree against it, and it's so tall, the tree fell against, but it's so high up, it would take the largest bucket truck to get it, and we know all the tree services are tied up, so we won't know anything about it for a while, but there is damage to the top. We just don't know how much you can see it from the ground, but you can't get to the ladder to climb. So, but all in all, we did pretty good.
Does anybody have anything else? Susan, anything else?
I want to say one more thing
Sure.
and I'm sure everybody knows it, but buying a tractor in time is fine, but with all the debris out there, and they're gonna have to restack all this stuff for burning and all. Mike's going to have a tractor, me and him ain't talking about, but they're gonna have to be a lease tractor somewhere when all them tractors leave Friday, the big ones with the
That's
graphics.
true, yeah.
We need to be leasing, and it's probably gonna be cheaper to lease one of them that's already here on the ground that's leased, like the state's got some leased. But they gonna be at a standstill, but they gonna be at a crawl when those tractors leave, because he don't have anything like that. So the county might as well go ahead and plan on leasing one in the meantime. I ain't trying to speak for you, Mike, but I can see the cleanup that's ahead of it out there. I mean, it is there.
I've already talked to that Daniel, something with the state, he's talking to their people to see. They've got 2 of those cases leased from border equipment, and he's gonna check, see the numbers on that, and I was gonna present that later to Randy. trying to get someplace.
So we don't just get to a crawl. And it won't be at a standstill, people won't be able to crawl without some equipment to work with.
So far, we've rented 2 pieces of equipment, a bulldozer for the transfer station and a
Skid steer for the gravel.
skid steer for Elliston. So we've already rented 2 pieces of equipment. If we need to rent some more equipment, then we can go rent some more equipment on a monthly basis. So,
Big pounds, that stuff.
big and yellow.
Randy?
Okay, well, moving forward, here's what all the collective minds are thinking. Okay, as we know, the state of emergency is going to end this Friday, March 15th. Therefore, GDOT will leave the county on that day. And they're going to be in the county still working on their state routes, not county routes. And they asked, when we go on our state routes in Harris County to pick up all of the storm debris on state routes, where are we going to put it? So they've asked to use Ellerslie Park to put storm debris from state right-of-way into Ellerslie Park. So, and since they helped us so much, how can we say no to that request? But that means Ellerslie Park will be an active disposal site for perhaps at least 2 more weeks. Okay?
So we wouldn't be on the burn for at least 2 more weeks.
Exactly. So one thing builds on each other. So I guess we're recommending when GDOT leaves the county roads and they get on the state routes in Harris County, they'd be allowed to use Ellerslie Park to dump state route material in Ellerslie Park until they get finished.
Only the Harris County.
The Harris County portion, yes, yes. And that might be 2 weeks, it may be 3. It may
You
be
have to be careful though, because our one permit for these rules expire.
Prior to 30 days. No, it's 60 days. 60
So,
days.
and when is that? 60 days?
60 days.
Can you double check that?
Can we get it renewed though?
Probably.
Since it's already been approved, yes.
Okay. So that is an issue. Okay?
Randy, real quick on that, man, Mike, you correct me if I'm wrong. Is there any way we can start burning in one spot of that? Where we've been bringing stuff, not, of course, not there coming in, but y'all been putting it over on that backside too. Could we go ahead and start burning that maybe, and at least get that much out of the way?
Well, we're still hauling into all these spots. We still got all the DOT stuff coming in. Randy and I talked about it. This needs to be, that wood's not going anywhere.
Well, that's true.
And if it does, God bless it.
That's true.
Nothing's gonna happen. Let's just let it lay and get past this.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. I didn't know if we wanted to make room or.
And I'm tying up other men doing that when I need to be bringing the rest of the counties, the residents,
That makes
stuff out of
sense.
their front yard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's an issue to have DOT use Elgin Park to dump state route material that's within Harris County until the duration of which they're finished. The second one is have the residents discontinue to bring storm debris to the roadside on Monday, March 18th. Tell them do not bring any more material, wood material, storm debris material, do not bring any more out to the roadside after Monday, March 18th. Harris County Public Works will continue to pick up the remaining storm debris along these roadways as time permits for the next several months, in addition to performing Public Works' normal duties. That may take a while. Then Ellerslie Park will remain open to accept storm debris for a while from DOT and from the public. So, I mean, for a while, 2, 3, 4 weeks perhaps, to accept GDOT material as well as public material.
So what we need to say is for up to 4 weeks.
Do you want to
I want to keep it,
specify?
no,
I agree, I don't think.
GDOT might do it in 2 weeks, they might do it in a week.
Yeah.
I mean, they have done Herculean task so far
Until further notice.
until further notice.
Until further notice.
But in the meantime, the public and their little pickup trucks can use Elgin Park. GDOT's coming in there with their massive force of dump trucks. So Elgin Park will, for a while, be a huge, busy disposal site. And then the park will eventually be closed, so we can formulate a burn plan with the Georgia Forestry Commission, Elgin Volunteer Fire Department, whatever we need to do. And then we'll begin burning. The transfer station will also remain open. I want it open this Saturday, March 16th, during normal hours and extended till 6. And again, close on March the 17th. After March 17th, the normal operating hours of the transfer station. Encourage residents to burn on site after they obtain a burn permit from the Georgia Forestry Commission. The county will not be picking up construction material left on the roadway. We're only interested in storm debris, wood debris. We are not going to pick up any drywall, shingles, plywood, pieces of fence, old deck furniture. We just don't have the resources for that.
Which is typical. I mean,
Which
that's
is
what
very typical.
our regular
Yes.
rules are.
Correct.
It'll go to solid waste.
Yeah.
But not by us.
That's right.
It will be,
They can take it to the landfill.
take it to the transfer station. And county should not pick up on private roads. That's been a sticking point for several people.
Yes, yes.
There's a private road, or several private roads, that are 2,000 feet in length.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of houses on those roads. My heart goes out to these folks, but the county, we don't have the wherewithal to pick up on private roads. Nor should these people who live on private roads bring their debris to a public road. We shouldn't allow that either. People say, well, okay, you won't come to us, we'll come to you. No. I mean, they have thousands and thousands and thousands of trees. We don't have the wherewithal for that. Permits, people coming in to get permits, encourage people to meet with community development to get their permits for structural and those sorts of things. Regular permit fees apply as normal. And I'm going to start preparing a thank you letter to all these agencies for all of us to sign, maybe hand deliver them, thanking all these folks for a job well done. That's.
I think too, we ought to put something in the paper thanking the citizens of Harris County.
Yeah.
Because, they have showed us why our county is so great. I mean, this is why everybody wants to live here, because of the people that are here. We got nervous and had some stuff at the beginning, but everybody that lives here pitched in and started helping everybody. And that's why we all live here, is because of our people. That's why we're commissioners, because of our people. So we probably ought to put something in the paper just thanking them for being, Harris Countyans and looking out for their fellow man or woman.
I know we had a lot of soldiers from Fort Benning that actually came up last weekend too.
Because I know several of the ball teams went to people's houses, soccer folks did it, baseball did it, Cubs did it, kids going out helping. Well, that's why we're here.
And don't forget our senator, who had a volunteer brigade Saturday.
Brandon Robertson.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had several churches jump up in the plate, not just going out and cutting, but serving a lot and collecting things. I mean, Monty's church and our church both have done lots of lunches for the DOT guys.
I think if we do what you're talking about, the thank you cards, and also put something in
Because
the,
you're gonna miss somebody in the.
right, but then that way at least put it in the paper.
Sure.
And, you may not, you can list them, or you may just do a blanket thing.
Sure.
We'd like to thank the citizens of, for helping in time of need.
And I know it costs a lot, probably at least a half page.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
You should be a letter to the editor in this week also, that I sent. So, So does everybody,
That's all I got.
is everybody
Is there
agree?
anything, is there any ingredients
Any?
we're missing?
I think we ought to talk a little bit about the folks that are not gonna be able to get their thing, their properties cleared and out to the road by the 18th. Don't know how many it is, but, and I know we've got to put a stop to it at some point in time. But for one reason or another, there are gonna be a few, hopefully only a few, that can't physically get it done by that period of time. Some of it might be able to be handled by extending the time that you got it to, you can take it to Ellerslie Park or to Barnesville. But, and if they can't get it out, then what are we saying? You're just out lucky. You're gonna have to pay a private contractor to get it.
Maybe we can assess that in a week or so and see what's there.
I think probably so, because the problem is with the county being able to do that.
Yeah. Well, I understand the problem. I don't, you know, if we haven't been able to pick up along the road right away and it's still there after that point in time,
We're gonna have to get
maybe
it.
you close your eyes a little bit as long as it hadn't been picked up.
Yeah.
But once it's picked up, I don't know. We're gonna have to face that.
You know, we talk to people that they have homeowners insurance, but if the tree did not damage their home, they're not gonna pay. Or if they do have, it's like $500, and they've got 100 trees down, they gotta do something with it. And $500 in the cut, so. And that's what we, Brian and I, you know, obviously heard that, you know, from the citizens.
I heard from one citizen that said that his insurance company would not pay a company to come and clear his trees, but they would pay him to clear his trees. And so he said, okay, I'll just clear my trees and get paid for clearing my own trees. And I went, that made absolutely no sense to me at all. But that's what he's done. He's cleared his own yard, his own trees, and he submitted that to the insurance company, and apparently they're going to pay him for clearing his own trees. I guess it was cheaper for them to pay him than for them to pay a contractor. And I don't know if other insurances are like that or not,
So
but that was the first I heard of something like that.
some insurance companies say if it is a named storm,
Right.
then their benefits are different than if it's just a thunderstorm or straight line winds or something like that. So you gotta read your small print.
Commissioner Andrews, you mentioned earlier about like shingles and roof stuff, debris like that. Almost everybody I've talked to, that's usually covered in their insurance as a haul-off. So that's not a problem there. We shouldn't have to pick up that. There is a guy in Ellerslie Place, he doesn't live there. His name is Mr. Martin, I believe, but he posted something on next door that he would come around and get anything that was metal. You just put it out by the street, he'll get to it. He got a little pickup, and the past 3 days I've seen it, he is loaded to the hilt.
Well, maybe he's the one that got the swings and things
I
that
think so.
saw.
He's picking up metal as he can, and the citizen, I mean, people that live there are like, yeah, come on and get it, because that saves me a trip from going to Earl's, and that's all he's doing is taking it up there and getting, and I don't blame him.
Well, good, good for him.
Yeah. So it's helping us out too, because it's getting all that going.
Interesting to note, we just got yesterday afternoon, our own insurance report on the Ellerslie Lodge, just like anybody else. And it was amazing to see. They say we have $59,000 of damage on that one building.
What's the house worth?
The renovation on the house was over 200.
So they said the damage on that house, all in, the back deck alone was $14,000.
Yeah.
So all in, they should pay us $59,000 and change.
We're gonna have to tear off where the garage is. We're definitely gonna have to tear the roof off there and redo it completely. It took the trusses out pretty hard. It did not, from what I could tell, did not bust the top plate on the back wall. But it did crease it pretty good. So
And the park is
that's all we gotta do, we'll be fine.
You have any idea how much uninsured damage we've had throughout the county?
Uninsured, I've heard of 3 I know of.
Three or four
Yeah.
uninsured homes.
Uninsured homes. And those you don't know what to do. I mean, they've been calling me, we don't know what to do except put them in touch with a Cornerstone or Bethesda, and maybe their guys can come help them out on the weekend, but it's a hard situation there. A real hard situation.
Well, that was one thing I said, you know, most of the homes in Ellerslie Place, I'm sure they still have mortgages on them, they still have insurance, so.
But you go to Talbot County and you're dealing with that all over the place. Unfortunately.
Okay, do we want to address Harry's issue? Anybody on what we need to do? Extending the date, and here's what I'd like to say. Whatever we decide, can we please all be on the same page?
Well, whatever we decide, we'll be changed.
No, we don't. I agree. It does not need to be changed, you're right. You know, it confuses people, it confuses me.
It's easy, it's not easy, but once you extend a service, it's almost impossible to retract it without craziness. And that's what we had. But.
So Mike, what do you think?
Well, I do know that there's a lot of yards, acreage that's torn up through the woods, and if we,
I think we said that.
I think help about a house, something like that, but whenever you get into 2 acres of free clearing in the back, that gets out of hand.
I just really don't think we have the capability to take care of it.
Well, we should take care of that. I think we set the deadline, and then we reassess in a couple of weeks and see if.
I think a couple of weeks, we'll know what we've got then,
See
and see.
So right now, it's.
But I agree, no, we're not gonna take stuff out of people's woods.
No,
I mean,
And that's what we have been doing.
they can let them lie
That's
there and
right.
rot.
that's right.
I mean, I know of several homes where people they have perfectly fine trees in their front yard. And they cut them down just to get them gone. We ended up hauling them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we have to get the deadline.
That's right.
Well, we have our commission meeting next Tuesday, so we have the deadline, we're gonna extend, the transfer station at Ellerslie Park. And then we can also take a look again at the commission meeting next Tuesday, and then if we have to, as, Harry said, we can take a look the next week, you know. But I think y'all are correct, we need to set a deadline and say this is it,
That's it, right.
and then we all need to stick to it.
Well, it's been a wonderful service to the residents to have the help that they've had. They could not have made the progress that they've made without that. I mean, you know, I said I'd probably still be sitting in a corner somewhere saying I can't look yet, but they've really gotten out there and worked, but it's a partnership.
Okay. So we all agree the 18th, right? Okay, good.
Which is what we said to you.
End of the day on the 18th? Or beginning, midnight?
I would say midnight on the 17th.
So,
Midnight on 17th.
what, Mike?
I was thinking from the first flyer that come out that it was up to the 18th. So it'd be through the weekend.
Through the weekend, Sunday would be the last day.
It's what I thought, how I read it. I'm just trying to not change.
Yeah, that's
I know.
what
Well,
Yeah,
if we're extending the hours on Saturday the 16th,
Yeah.
you know, I'd say, let's say midnight on Sunday night, be done.
I'm fine with that too.
And with Ellerslie Park still being open to the public for a period of time, I think it'll all work out.
Okay. All right, does anybody have anything else? Ready?
But we're gonna tell GDOT that they can use Ellerslie Park for stuff,
I have one thing, the siren in Hamilton. The, other siren in Hamilton apparently went down during the storm sometime. It's been taken down for repair. And we have a request from Hamilton, the estimating cost, and they don't have an estimate yet, even though it's already been taken down and transported for repair. We have a request from Hamilton. If the county, since it serves the county as well, I say you can hear it out in Pine Mountain Valley, I don't know. But anyway, the estimated cost is between $2,000 and $5,000, and they have asked if the county would be willing to fund any of that. They've not asked for a specific amount. They just said that they would like to know if the county would be willing to pitch in some county funds to help with the cost of that repair. And we should have, this week I'm told we should have an estimate on what it's going to cost to repair. So I bring that to the board for decision.
Just because I don't know, because I didn't know we had a siren in
Well,
Hamilton.
I didn't know it for a long time.
Do we have a siren in Pine Mountain or Wavy Hall? Or
No, that's the only one, isn't it?
I mean, I was just.
The siren actually was for the fire department.
Right.
That's where it originated from, because back then we didn't have paging, so if somebody would get to the station, hit the siren, people would come running. And the city's the only one that can activate it, as far as the storm goes.
And I know when you go to Scotty County, every Saturday at 12 noon, you hear them. So I didn't know if we had any more than Hamilton, because I knew I'd never heard it.
I think Callaway has one.
See, I didn't know what were that.
Well, I think that's more for the golf course, for lightning strikes and so forth.
Okay. Makes sense. Have you have heard the running? Yes.
While you're at work or while you're at home?
At work.
That
Yeah.
work.
Wind's blowing good when I hear it at home.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's your pleasure?
I don't think we need to wait until we get the estimate, see,
I think so too.
Okay.
see what.
Tell them we're willing to consider it.
When we know what
Yes,
those
we-
hard figures might be.
Okay, and I did talk to Ricky just today, and he said he should have something this week. So I will relay that message.
If they get an estimate this week, then y'all can take action,
Possible
possible action
on
on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Do we put it on the agenda as a just in
Yeah,
case?
just as, yeah, I would.
And they're just asking for anything,
Anything.
not a specific number.
Anything. No monetary amount was asked for, but they're just asking for anything. Does anybody have anything else?
Was
Thank
that-
y'all for coming.
I'll tell you later.
Yes, yes, we need to, is there a motion to adjourn?
Somebody.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Okay.